Good morning. It is June 16th, 2023. I'm Sensei Mish, and this is Morning Tea with me. I don't know how well I'm coming through. I have this little connection is unstable Wi-Fi thingy. We'll see how well that goes. All right. Well, sorry I'm late today. I was zooming with Jim Korn. We finished recording United States, and yeah, so we're like so close. We are so close. I'm sorry I'm late this morning. That's why I was basically zooming with Jim so we could get the rest of his book done. Hope to have a rough draft by the end of this month. So it gives me 2 weeks. And then so we're so just moving along. Very excited. Very, very excited. And I figure, I can be a little bit late. Nobody usually tunes in this early. In fact, I had one person watching and then they clicked off. So it is what it is. This is it's been an interesting week. So one thing I think I've shown pictures, but I did get a new tattoo. So that I got that on the 2nd. So I got that a couple weeks ago. So it is healing nicely. I really like it. And almost ready for some shading. I want to do the blue shading around everything, make it look like a blueprint. So we'll wait till that heals and then I'll do the blue. We've got, you know what I should have done? I should have written down stuff on a list. Because I was like, ooh, I should talk about that. Ooh, I should talk about that. And yeah, I completely forget all the time. I forget what I was going to talk about. So let's do, let's see. Ooh, let's just talk about Star Trek. We'll just start off right there because guess what aired yesterday? Strange New Worlds episode 1, season 2. First episode, I watch it. It usually drops somewhere around 11:30 the day before p.m. So I'm up and I start watching it, and it is just not grabbing my attention. And it's funny because I will be so tired during the day and I will not have taken any naps, and I will teach. And then I get I get out of class and I come home and I'm just wired beyond belief. So I'm like, I'm awake. Yeah, no, episode does not grab my attention. My eyes kind of shut, so I miss some scenes. And then I wake back up and I close my eyes and then I wake back up. And yeah, so I couldn't remember exactly how much of the episode I caught, but I will tell you the episode did not grab me right off the back. So I did rewatch it. I rewatched it last night. It actually wasn't too bad of an episode. Oh, Klein is calling. Let's see what Klein has to say. Talk radio, you're on the air. I'm podcasting right now. That's why. Yeah, that's why well, I answer that. I answer my phone sometimes like that anyway, but because we are live and on the air, I mean, you aren't, I am, but anyway, you're not wearing any underwear. Ooh, that sounds sexy. Well, actually, I just finished a Zoom with Jim. Um, TJ, I don't know. Maybe it's the teaspoon story, because he told the teaspoon story, but uh but since you were the one originally telling that story about the teaspoon, and he's like, well, how big is the spoon? Like that, I figured, coming from your perspective, that would be funny. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So no, and so are you going to be available in, like, I don't know, 40 minutes, an hour? I can just call you back. Oh, okay. Well, how about this? Okay. Oh, no, I actually don't have, yeah, whatever. Yeah, just give me a call back. It's okay. I mean, I only got technically one person watching right now anyway, so I mean, like, okay. Mhm. Yeah. Yep. Is this new Mercedes that you have? No, that's probably why. Cause yeah. Oh, okay. Right on. Well, that's good. Cool. Yeah. It's called good customer relations. No, we don't. I talk about that all the time. In fact, I have, and this is actually something. Thank you for, because I was like, every time I come online, I'm like, shit, I forgot what I was going to talk about. On, uh, have a new student. She is in the young artisans class. She's 5. She walks in. She goes, "My name is Lily. I'm 5 years old." She's just a bundle of energy. And so she does a free class, and uh, hey Morgan, how you doing? And so she does this she does the free class, and she tells her parents, I want to come back. I want to come back. This is fun. This is fun. So her parents are like, okay, well, can we sign her up for 1 day a week? And I get out the iPad and I'm like, sure. So I, get it all ready. And so as her mom is putting in all her information, she says, she was kicked out of ballet because they couldn't control her. And I look at her, I was like, but she's 5. Like, don't they understand sometimes 5-year-olds, it's like herding cats? Like, she's 5. Like, yeah, she's, there's some rules that I expect her to follow, but she's 5. Like, have a little bit of patience. And I've heard about that from other kids where other martial arts schools have kicked out their students because, they're too spazzy or whatever, whatever term you want to use. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That would have been bad. You'd have a record if you did that. A record you could never get rid of. All right. Well, I will call you later, or you can call me. But we'll connect later today. All right. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. I love Mark. Mark is so awesome. One more thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, so I do new student, and yeah, I heard cats. It's easy if you have lightsabers. So, lightsabers or sabers, which actually was pretty fun because Morgan, they noticed. What the? I don't know why this person keeps on calling me. So, and it's not even a person, it just says Vancouver. Like, it could be anybody. Anyway, so they saw the Darth Maul lightsaber that you left, and they're like, oh, lightsaber. Oh my gosh, they were just so excited. So like, can we play with that? And I was like, no. I said, that's a friend of mine's. I said, but let's do our class. And I said, we will take the last 5 minutes of class and I will let you play with my lightsaber. And so we did class, had a great time. And I pull out the lightsaber, turn it on, and it's really funny. These little 5 and 6-year-olds wielding that big thing. They're like, "Oh, this is so cool!" Yeah, it was pretty funny. So, so yeah, gotta love kids. Let's see. So, ooh, they left a message. Let's see, what message did they leave? Oh. Ooh. Alexa's glasses are available. Okay. Which is awesome. The let's see. I've got today is the last day of school for Evergreen School Districts. Unfortunately, Emerald PTO didn't get back to me. There's a whole backstory. I don't want to get into it because I don't know how much should be public, but Not bad things. It's just that I don't think that they got the approval to partner with me for the summer, and that's okay. Any schools that didn't partner with me, that's okay too, because you just go on to the summer thing and you either choose your school or you can choose other and put your school in there, and you're still supporting your school, and you get to train for an inexpensive price during the summer. And it's basically just kind of giving something for kids to do, you know. um, let's see. When I was 6, I first heard and saw a lightsaber. I am positive is what drove me into martial arts to excel at swords and blade work. Yeah. Hey, seriously, like, Bram talks about, he had a love for swords, and it was the John Carter series that really kind of really solidified that for him. That's was like, oh wow, like, this is it. Um, Honestly, I don't know, like, if any sci-fi really influenced me wanting to get into martial arts. Um, Maybe it was that scene from Charlie X in the original Star Trek when Captain Kirk is rolling around on the ground, doing that little judo scene. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny. So let's see. Morgan and I have a lightsaber camp. We call it Kids Kyber Camp. It's starting next Friday in the morning. It's going to be an all-day thing for 4 Fridays in a row, basically from 10 to 4. I got together with Morgan last Saturday. We've been talking on and off, but we actually got together and solidified a curriculum, which is fantastic. It's going to be so awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. And not just Matt. I have another student, another teen student. I have a couple more who signed up for free lessons. So the school is coming along. It is growing slowly. I've got different books I'm working on. And in fact, I do want to talk about this. So I love reading books, but I don't have time to read. Like, let's rephrase that. I don't make time to read because I'm doing all of these other things, but I enjoy other books. And I saw a what is it? I saw an interview with Will Wheaton, and for those of you who don't know who Will Wheaton is, he used to be Wesley in Next Generation. He is an author, an actor, all that kind of stuff. And I think it was on Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of Me or Inside of You, whatever his podcast is. I've watched several different podcasts of his. He's a good podcast. Anyway, so I watched it with Will Wheaton, and this is, Will Wheaton, this was recorded months ago, and, he was talking about his new book that he has out, which is titled Still Just a Geek, which came out last year, the year before, I think. And so I was like, well, I never did read his original book, but this book is essentially an annotated version of his original book. So you have the original writing and how Will's, how things have changed. And you learn like a lot about Will Wheaton. And the dude's weird. He's really weird in a good way. I don't know if he and I could be friends. I mean, we are both geeks, like a lot of the same things, but he is, I think that politically, he would not want to be my friend. And on my end, essentially he has neutered himself. Now I do respect him. He, as an artist and as even just as a human being, some of the things that he talks about when it comes to his his uh, uh, his childhood and all the stuff that he went through and his mental health. I mean, he owns it, and he talks about his parents and the relationship that he had with them, and it's sad. Like, no child should have been put through that. Like, this man is married with kids, and he is struggling to pay the bills. He can't get the gigs that he wants, and his parents are just collecting residuals from the next generation. And so when he says, "Oh, hey, can I have a loan? I need a loan." He doesn't know this, by the way. He's like, "Oh, can I get a loan?" They loan him money. They loan him his own money that he has to pay back. Like, what? Yeah, like, and he's very open about it. Like, he pretty much he had written a story. He had basically emailed his parents, I don't know, several years ago, and be like, "Hey, this is how I feel, and this is what it is." And his mom took like 4 months to respond to him, and his father responded, "Your mom wanted me to email you." So it's like, instead of saying, "Oh, hey, your kid's in pain, child, what's going on? How can I help?" They were just like, "Oh, that's too bad." So and so I respect him for a human of owning his life and being his own person. But this book, like, he tells a story of basically him oogling over some. Well, I think one of there's a couple different stories in there where I guess he goes to a Hooters, and I guess in the original book, girl had big boobs and long legs and was hot and all that kind of stuff. And then he's like, and then his annotated notes are, "I am so sorry that I can't even think of the word. Shoot. I can't think of the word. What is the word? Why can't I think of the word? Basically, he was apologizing profusely about the way that he acted and how he objectified. That's the word. Objectified this woman. And I don't know if it's just me because I'm a dumb fat white male, but I didn't see, like, and also, dude, he's 20 years old when he's writing this book. Like, he's in his early 20s. So you got to take it all into context. But the thing is that men objectify women, and women objectify men. Now, it can be taken way too far. Way, way too far. But if you just look at it from the standpoint of me going, that woman is hot, or that woman is attractive, and she might have a nice ass, she might have big boobs, but or even a woman who objectifies a man to go, "Oh, he's really attractive. Wow, he's hot." Like, isn't that how our species repopulates? Is that you have a male and a female who mate, and like it all begins with the objectification. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I just don't get it. But like, he is, to me, he was over apologizing for him being a 20-year-old oogling over some hot girl. There's even a scene in there where I think he's 16, 17 ish, where he and his brother are on a Star Trek cruise and he oogles over Marina Sirtis's butt as she walks away. And he totally like, I'm so sorry. It's like, dude, you were in your teens. Like, people kind of understand about that. I mean, maybe not the people who want to cancel people, but any normal person is like, yeah, as a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old, like, yeah, I'm a Star Trek fan, but the only thing that really turned me off about Marina Sirtis is the beads in her hair. I think that hairdo was kind of out of style, but I don't know. So, but the other thing that I noticed while I'm reading this book or listening to this book, because it's narrated by Will, and he does a great job. Overall, I really did enjoy the book, but the first half of it, I got depressed. Like, I really got depressed listening to this book. And I actually had to stop listening to it at times because it was affecting my thought process, and it was just so weird. And you know, like and I didn't know this. Like, I'm like a month and a half older than he is. That's how old he is. I always thought he was like a year older or something like that. No, he's like so like when I'm watching Star Trek, The Next Generation, I'm a freshman in high school, and there's a kid my age. Of course, he was probably filming it when he was in 8th grade, but like, seriously, like, you're my age. Like, it was nuts. Absolutely nuts. I thought that was like, but anyway, I don't, I think because he politically, he falls into that group where if I don't agree with him, he's just not going to be my friend. So I think politically, if he knew that I was a little bit more conservative, then he wouldn't be my friend. Kind of like Steve Shives. And Steve Shives, he does some really great video essays about Star Trek. It's called Trek Actually. And he actually says that he believes you cannot be conservative and be a Star Trek fan. Like, it's just impossible. And that he says, he has said, if you are conservative, he does not want you watching his show. And I'm just like, I'm conservative and I love his show. I think he does some great essays. Politically, do I disagree with some of what he says? Absolutely. But I don't completely, like, I'm not like, ooh, I hate him. No, he's really entertaining. Like, he makes some great points. And so does Will Wheaton. I've read willwheaton.net, his website. But there's just politically, when they go on that political thing, I'm nobody. So seriously, stop it. I can see the cat. I can hear him first tufting his claws on the carpet right in front of the sliding glass door. Anyway. Now, back to before Mark called. Um, so, oh, and like if you are a fan of Will Wheaton, I do suggest pick up the book. It's an entertaining book. The first part, yes, it was a little bit depressing. And segue into something else related though. I think one of the reasons that because I was thinking about how I was raised. Okay. So uh, my parents split up. Um, my father was an absent father, but I visited him and was pretty much raised by my stepmother when I was down there visiting him. So, but he was always at work. He was always in the office and teaching or doing something. My sister likes to describe him as narcissistic, and he does have some narcissistic tendencies. He's fantastic at gaslighting. Oh my gosh, super fantastic at gaslighting. My mom, and I think this is when listening to his stories about his parents, got me thinking about my parents, and he had it way worse, like way worse, like way worse. Um, but oh, no worries. Hey, I was late to the party too. You had to pick your car up from the shop. Hey, no worries. I was zooming with Brian, no, Jim. I was zooming with Corn, getting the last of his stories for the book. So we are almost done. I was just talking about Will Wheaton's book, Still Just a Geek, and how um, because nobody else is on here, so I'll just kind of do a little quick recap. Um, he neuters himself in the book because it's an annotated version of his original book, but he basically he annotates himself for or he neuters himself for things that he said and did when he was in his 20s that basically is just part of biology. Like he apologizes profusely for like objectifying this woman at Hooters while he's married, and it's like, dude, she works at Hooters. It's a job. The dress code, the whole thing is to do that. And well, you know, if you're 50 years old now and you don't want to go to Hooters because you don't want to objectify women that way, then don't go. That's, you know, that's your right. But and there's other stuff that he is like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's how we propagate the species. Like he talks about how he regrets things. And it's like, you know, I don't regret things. I don't regret anything I've said. Because if I hadn't said it, I know now not to say that stuff or do that stuff. Maybe it was a dumb decision, but if I hadn't done it, I wouldn't have grown. Like I wouldn't have learned. So I don't know. Anyway, it's a good book. However, the first part of it was a little bit depressing, and I had to actually stop listening to it because I was getting depressed. But anyway, so I was talking about my own because he had it way worse, family wise. But that got thinking about like when my mom died. So my mom passed away 7 years ago, I think. She died on June 25th, so it is coming up here. But I remember when I was writing my part of the eulogy for her memorial, And I had a really, really hard time trying to come up with something to say because I couldn't think of anything positive. Like, I know my mom loved me, and I know she um, I know she sacrificed stuff for me, for my sister, but I could not remember any positive memories. And as I get older, as a martial arts author, I think about, when would be an appropriate time to write a memoir. Listening to a memoir, helping Jim Korn with his memoirs. And I was thinking, well, my dad at 78 right now has Alzheimer's. He's in the early stages. So if Alzheimer's is anything genetic, then that might be me. So I've already started writing little stories. In fact, I started them a couple of years ago. I've entitled them "How I Met Them." It is basically a story about each individual person. Like, how did I meet Dan Anderson? And how did I meet Rory Miller? How did I meet Jim Korn? Like that kind of stuff. And so I was like, ooh, that might be a good way. And so I was like, but if I'm going to write my memoirs, how detailed am I going to be? So and I'm listening to Will's stuff, and Will's stuff is a lot of his from his website. And the new book is, of course, an annotated version of the old book, but the old book is basically like different stories, and then peppered in there are basically blog posts. I've tried blogging, not very good at it. Actually, I am good at it. I just don't do it enough. There you go. So what was I going to say? So anyway, so we had, so I'm listening to that and I'm thinking, and I sit down like, okay, well, I'm just going to start writing a story of my childhood. And I'm trying to think of positive. And I'm trying to think of positive stuff with my father. And I'm trying to think of positive stuff with my dad. And I can't think of anything positive. Like, for the life of me, cannot recall a positive time I had with my parents growing up. All the times I remember are negative. And I don't think that's a good thing. And it also got me thinking, it's like, like Will Wheaton, for instance. Will has a couple years ago, I don't think he actually says this in his book, but I know he says it in his podcast that he had with Rosenbaum, is that about 5 or 6 years ago, he just stopped all contact with his parents. And for a couple years, I actually stopped all contact with my father. And it was over something that he did. I won't, he claimed something that my mother did, that, because she was dead, she couldn't she couldn't defend herself, and then gaslighted me, saying that it was pretty much what she did was my fault, and that she really didn't love me. So that was, so I was like, yeah, you can go pound sand. So I didn't talk to him for years and years and years. And I remember him emailing me and asking me, why I wasn't contacting him, or why I blocked him on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I told you, you don't get it. You just, yeah. So anyway, but I think about the stuff from my mom. I don't know. I just don't have any. I don't have any positive memories. All of them are negative. And so it's like, it kind of goes into that thought of, getting rid of, uh, um, getting rid of the thoughts, or getting rid of those people in your life that are negative, and how that can help your mental health. And so, I did start talking to my dad again, maybe a couple years ago. I can't remember exactly when it was, but we do not talk as often as we used to. Like, I used to talk to him at least once a week. Now I talk to him like maybe once every couple months. And he did actually call me on my birthday, and it took me everything in my thing, because he does have, he is in the early stage of Alzheimer's. My black humor, I'm thinking, or the dark humor, is like, well, at least you remembered me. So yeah. So when it comes to, yeah, Young, I'm always good to share stuff. Thank you. Um, so when it comes to getting rid of those negative people in your life to better your mental health, even if it's your parents, like Will Whedon did it, totally understandable. Like he had it way worse than I did. Let's just say way worse than most people. Let's just say that. Um, but like for me, it's it was easy because my mom died. My dad lives 3,000 miles away, so I don't, hardly ever see him. But then I think about my own kids, and like, will they are there positive memories that they will have with me and their mother? Like, will they get to the point where, and it's so funny because, like, as a parent, it's hard being a parent, and you have this, you do you do the best that you can, and then your kids are, yelling, it's like, oh, I hate you, or I can't believe that you did that. Well, my response, because just the person that I am, is, well, when you're old enough, you'll tell your therapist. Well, it just so happens that my two oldest have therapists. So I'm like, okay, well, and that's good for them. I don't knock them at all for that, but I find it funny that I told them that when they were younger, and now that they're actually telling their therapist. But will they ever be at that point where they won't want anything to do with me because they don't have any positive memories? And as a parent, I tried to create positive memories the best I could. So I don't know. It's just, it really kind of got me thinking that, and that's, the whole thing, listening to Will's book and it being so damn depressive, and then me internalizing that and thinking of my own parents and then my kids, like I had to stop listening. I had to stop listening. So just because, like, this week wasn't too bad. Last week, like my birthday week, like 2 weeks ago, I turned 51. I had a great day. A great day. It ended on a shitty note because fuck Red Robin. But oh my God, the rest of the week was just horrible. Like, I was in a, and that's, like, I had a great, like, but that was the week I actually started listening to Will's podcast. I actually started listening to it. I went up to go visit Harvey on the 4th, and it's a 3-hour drive. So I'm like, so anyway, so so I listened to the first 3 hours of the book. Oh, okay. So let's see. This guy, Robotro, bro, I'm the first. say hi to me. Hi. Who you talking to? Well, this Robotro, uh, this is a weekly podcast that I just sit on here and just I talk about myself and martial arts, and not to be narcissistic, but I talk about martial arts and Star Trek and myself and how it all relates. I run a school, I do Kusho Corner, all that kind of stuff, and I stream this on FaceTime and not FaceTime, Facebook and uh, YouTube. So you're tuning in from YouTube, and I have a couple people tuning in on Facebook. So sometimes I have 0 people watching me for the entire time I'm on here. And sometimes I have like 10 or 15 people on here watching me. So that's who I'm talking to. All right. So Young, I would love to share some challenges I have faced with relationships privately. Absolutely. Totally. Young, I'm down for that. Let's see, but only one person is watching. Okay, so I don't know what you're seeing, but what I see right now up in, I think, right up here, it says the time is 46:16, and then it has a little eyeball on it, and it has a 3 next to it, and then it has 1 thumb up, and that thumb up is from Facebook. And then I can see 2 people are watching on Facebook, and 1 person is watching on YouTube. So I'm into martial arts too. I'm a green belt in Aikido. Very cool. So where are you? Where do you live? And who do you study under? So, but see, right now, like I do talk about martial arts, but right now I'm just talking about a book I'm listening to. But yeah, so when it comes to last week, like I actually had some really great times last week, but I felt like my brain was just in the dirt the entire time. And the only thing I can think of is that it was because of Will's book. That's the only thing I can think of. So got 2 of us on Facebook, and a lot of people do tune after the fact. That is true. So, I'm tuning in, like I come on here at usually 10 a.m. my time on a Friday. There's a lot of people at work. I know Rob is usually, what's that? It's 10 a.m. my time. So it's like 1 p.m. on the East Coast. So it's one of those that, see, and okay. So I don't know if you can, well, you can't see this, but now it's up to 5 people. I got 2 people, 3 people on what do you call it? YouTube, and 2 people on Facebook. But Rob right now is making reports while watching you now. Yeah. So he's actually working. And so I get why some people wouldn't tune in just because they're working. I have considered changing the date, but right now, 10 a.m. on Friday works for me. Now, I will say this, for the next 4 Fridays, I will not be coming on at 10. I have played with the idea of coming on Saturdays, but I don't know when, or it might just be earlier on Fridays because I do, I'm going to be having a lightsaber camp that starts at 10 and will go until 4. So yeah, so I don't know. Let's see. Why did my message not show up? Because I actually control what shows up. So I did see that you message, but usually what happens is I talk, people post, and then I select from those. So let's go to this one. All right. So in answer to that question, I am from Pakistan. I'm a student, but I can't practice martial arts because the country situation and stuff. I totally understand. So I have 2, I guess you could say friends. I mean, like we're not BFFs, but we have There's a gentleman who makes our knives. He goes by Handy Blade on the social media. So he made these awesome knives for my knife instructor Bram Frank, and I have not sent anything to him, but we potentially, I'm going to see if he can't make me a batleth. Can you imagine a Damascus batleth with a Bramp on it? Like, that would be so wicked. Oh, that's cool. Now, I don't know what that's due, probably because I have control over, see, pop. So I just clicked to show. And of course, he says, and I'm at work, I can listen usually. But yeah, so, and then there's another gentleman who, I don't know what he has. I don't know what he does, but he is from Pakistan, and he studies modular, which is Bram Frank's stuff. So he and I have talked, so I guess associates, that would be a good term. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, and I've got hundreds of videos, so always come back and just watch my other stuff if you're interested. Pressure points do go well with Aikido. A Brampleth? Actually, I think that's what Bram called it. But yes, it's I don't know. They're inside. I came up with this design where so on a regular batleth, you've got three the three grips, and then on the outside of the third, on the outside of the outside grips, you have a little Bramp, and like, it's really cool. I've made 2 wooden ones. And I've only ever gotten the first layer of Varathane on it, because I've stained them, Varathane them, but I want to get at least a couple more layers on there, just because I've been so busy, I just haven't done it. But yeah, so that's a thing. But yes, I think that would be so cool. I don't know how much he would charge me. Seriously, I don't know. But that would be so wickedly cool to have a real metal batleth with Bramps on it. And it's so cool because the like, of course, it's not going to kinetically open anything, but coming in, reaching in and grabbing that person with a Bramp and hooking them around and then slicing their arm off as you come in and hook down. That would be so cool. Yeah. So, let's see. Well, let's see. Robotro, thank you for tuning in. I think you're gone now, but that's okay. Let's see. Yeah, so I do suggest reading or listening to a folding Brampleth. That would be a big folder. That would be a big folder. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Unless, of course, it folded in half. But if we'd want to take advantage of the Bramp as a kinetic opener, the Bramp, I think, would have to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, I don't know. But see, okay, Young, that's got my brain going now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and just so people know, I will be doing 2 hours. I've got I was talking, okay, so oh, hold on a second. outer sides fold inward. I have some ideas I need to sketch up now. Totally. What is it? When I was speaking with Jim this morning, I think I've already mentioned that. So we recorded some stuff, and then we had kind of an offline conversation. But the camp in September, that I highly suggest that if anybody wants to go, can go. That is where we will be unveiling his book. We will be doing a pre-sale for it. So if you end up, pre-ordering it, you're going to be at the camp instead of paying a bunch of shipping. You can just buy it, or you can pick it up at the camp. I don't know how many copies we're going to have. So that's another thing I'm going to do is be like, make sure that you pre-order so you can get it picked up. And the same thing for any of the Hogan people that can't make it to September, but will be making it to the camp, the regular Hogan camp. I think I'll do the same thing. I'll have extra books, but it's one of those where you're going to have to wait till then to pick it up. And then if you want the free shipping, and I'm just talking out my ass right now, but I figure if it as a dojo pickup, it'll probably be free shipping. I still got to work that out, because right now when you choose free shipping or pick up at the dojo, it charges sales tax. So I got to figure out how to not do that if it's being sent to a different state. Let's see, because it'll charge you Washington taxes, and maybe I might just have to do that, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so he told me that he is giving me 2 hours on Friday night. So I will have 2 full hours of modular on Friday night for the camp, at the camp. So those coming to his September camp, there will be a Friday evening. I've got 2 hours. And then I will have another hour at some point during the weekend where I will be doing modular and crimp. So, or not modular and crimp, Naihanchi and crimp. So kind of excited about that. And which I have had nobody buy any books like at the sale price. Nobody, not a person. So, and I appreciate that, buying my books at full price. I like that. Just is, Let's see. What else? There was something else. I cannot remember. Like I said at the beginning, good morning. Meandra Lane, is that how you pronounce that? I'm really bad at pronouncing names. Meandra? I'm going to guess. Welcome to the show. We're just talking about, I think right now we're just talking about martial arts, and in camp in Indiana that I'll be teaching at. And that I have, yay. Yay me. And that since this is my birthday month and I have books on sale on my website, nobody's bought any. And I'm just thanking people for paying full price for my books when they're not on sale. I appreciate the support. Let's see. Oh, Star Trek. So I started, so Meandra also, martial artist, big Star Trek fan. I'm not going to give away a lot for the new episode of Strange New Worlds. I did say in the beginning of this of the show, though, that It usually drops Thursday night, somewhere around 11 to 11:30 ish. Usually when I pop on at about 11:30, I can see that I have a new episode. So it's Thursday night. Star Trek's gonna be on. I'm so excited. And so I have all right, so squirrel here, just a second. So this is for Meander Lane. So thank you for the birthday wish. I actually have like 6 books on sale because I'm a martial arts author. Anyway, this is the website, artisanmartialarts.com/pro shop/ there's all my books. Let's see, and undo that. Okay. So, so anyway, the, what was I going to say? Oh, Star Trek. Okay. Oh, we have more people on here. Andrew Kazavechi. I know I totally butchered that. Oh, I'm good. And you hit a like. So Star Trek. I am I watch it. It's 11:30. And it's I'm awake enough to be able to like, yes, I'm gonna watch this. And I'm really excited. And then I'm like, it just doesn't catch me. It just doesn't catch. And so I start to feel tired. So I kind of close my eyes, and I can hear the episode, and I'm like, oh, my eyes are closed. I'm missing stuff. So I open my eyes, and it happens again. And it happens throughout the episode, but the episode never caught my attention. Like it was never like it was just like, it never pulled me in. And so I was like, and so by the end of the episode, I was like, well, that was dumb. Because, and I'll tell you why it didn't catch me right in the beginning is because I think I was expecting a number 1 episode where she, like, they would just kind of go right in and do her what is it, and do her court martial. But, and I know spoilers, it didn't do that. But, and we've already, if you've seen any of the trailers, you've seen that one where it's like, oh, are you going to do your thing? And Spock is like, make the ship go now. Like, I couldn't stand when they did that on Discovery. And I like, are they trying to, I just thought that was really dumb. Like, I know that that's a thing. Like, you know, Picard has engage, and Riker, I don't know what Riker has. I can't remember. In the episode, even they say, oh, well, Pike has hit it. And Shatner is, you know, he quotes, you know, wherever. But like, they made it a thing in Discovery, and they really kind of forced it. And I know it was part of trying to create a character development of like, oh, everybody has a line. And I just thought that was the dumbest part of that. And then to bring it in here and be like, ooh, what's your thing? I don't know. I thought it was really dumb. And the whole reason behind what Spock did in bringing it to that scene, I don't see that as his character at this time in his life. Okay. Now, I did rewatch the episode. I rewatched it last night. I watched the entire thing. I never closed my eyes. I paid attention the entire time. It's actually not a bad episode. I still don't like that they're trying to make the thing a thing. I really don't like that, and I still disagree with the with the reasoning of why we got to that scene with Spock. But overall, the episode actually wasn't that bad. It was actually a pretty good episode. I was like, okay, I don't like that. Don't worry about it. There's nothing I can do to control that. And I just enjoyed the episode. And yeah, so it was an enjoyable episode. So I don't know, Rob, I don't know if, I think Rob did message me and I did not message him back. What did Rob say? He said, this was a good season opener for S&W. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. It was an enjoyable episode. So, yeah, I dug it. Thought it was a good season opener. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. My daughter's glasses are available. Now Dan has Dan Anderson. He's got some books coming out. I think I might have started my book. So like earlier on, I was talking about my memoirs. When should I write them? All that kind of stuff. Set a tone without being a 10 out of 10 and making expectations too high for the season. Okay. Yes. That's good, because when you start off with that one episode that is just like, this is an amazing episode, and then the rest of the season is just like, like oh, it's Joan. Let's see what she has to say. Talk Radio, you're on the air. Well, that I'm saying that because I'm actually live podcasting right now on Facebook. But the reason I didn't know if it was super important. That's why I answered. So, okay. Oh, you just wanted my email? Okay. I thought you had it. Oh, okay. Well, then I will send it to you then. Okay. Yeah. All right, you too. Bye-bye. That was my father's mother. So, let's see. Andrew says, I'm watching The Sopranos currently, and then adds in a little bit. Have you seen it? I watched The Sopranos a long, long time ago. I wasn't a huge fan of the series. I did watch a little bit of it. I did watch the ending, and I know that, and so since you're watching it, I'm not going to ruin anything, but I think the way it ended was, from a writer standpoint and a creator standpoint, genius. From a viewer standpoint, extremely frustrating. But I think that it was probably one of the best endings to a series that yeah. So anyway, but no, I have not. It's been so long. I did not watch the whole thing, and it's been so long ago. I really couldn't talk educationally about it, I guess. Let's see. We've had that with Trek before. Yes. Yeah. Would that be season 2 of Picard. And I know a lot of people really don't like season 2, but season 2 started off really, really great, and then it just started to peter out towards the end. Season 1, or no, season 3, I remember, yes, it would. Season 3, I remember watching the first episode of Picard of season 3 going, really? Like both Rob and I were like, oh my God, I really hope this gets better. And it did. Like episode 1 and 2, we've said this before, really should have been one big episode, like a double drop, like 2 episodes back to back, just so you get the whole story. Because like episode 1 was just like, it left more questions than anything was answered. You know, you're just like, Urgh! So, but yeah, I'm still looking forward to, and it's funny. I want to look back at and find the, because I know I had gotten on here. I had put up a list of episode titles, and been like kind of guessed what the episode would be about, and yeah, totally wrong for episode 1. Totally wrong. Now, I do kind of like the fact that they are going to be leading up to, they're going to be leading up to Una's court martial, instead of just jumping into it. I mean, it would have been nice to have just jumped into it, but I think they're going to be leading up to it, and with Pike doing what he's doing, like who are they talking about? Like, is it somebody that we know? Is it somebody that we've heard about? Are they bringing back? Are they going to bring back? And this is really, this doesn't give away anything to the plot of the episode, really. But they talk about a lawyer, and it seemed like the lawyer was a woman, and Una, she wasn't returning phone calls, and I assume Pike leaves to go get this person. The first thing I thought about, and I cannot remember the name for the life of me, but was the lawyer that Kirk had at his court martial. I want to say Cogley, or I can't remember it. Anyway, I think that would be cool to bring his character, because it's only 8 years earlier, so he's around. Like I think that he would be like, bringing his character in would be really awesome, or maybe somebody associated with his character. I think that would be very, very cool. Let's see, but I do like that they're kind of leading up to it. They've got other story, and I'm not going to call them filler stories, because the episode that aired, it's kind of filling in the cracks of like what happened, what's been going on since the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2. So, Roberto, smiley faces, laughing emojis. I don't know. Pissed off Crone. Love your talent, sir. Thank you very much. Samuel T. Cogley. Oh, I was right. Cogley was the lawyer. I had to Google the spelling and confirm I wasn't losing my mind. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Back to this one. Pissed off Crone. Thank you very much, sir. I try. Okay. Sam Cogley. And I can't remember did I say Crone before, or no, I said Crone. Oh, because Crone was the dude's name, the YouTube guy. Cogley. Yeah. So That would be really cool if they found somebody to play his character, like Rainn Wilson playing Mud. I wasn't really a huge fan of like, oh my God, he's the perfect person, but it actually is not. He doesn't do too bad of a job playing Mud. So I think that they could totally find that somebody else to play Cogley. God, that would be so awesome. Now that I'm thinking about it, that would be so awesome if they like if he was the one that they brought in. Like just yeah, I just think that would be really cool. And then the engineer, God, I cannot remember the actress's name. She's introduced. Of course, they're going to introduce her in the first episode. But there's history there. Yeah, it just set it up. It just set it up well. I enjoyed that. Except for the whole, are you going to do a thing? What's your thing? Everybody in the chair has a thing. However, Erica's thing, I think, is actually kind of funny. But but definitely needs some work. Let's see. What else? There was, like I said in the beginning, I need to make a list. I seriously need to make a list.
Sorry, I can't help with that.
No. So I don't know if you guys heard that. That was Suri. I didn't ask for anything. My brain's dead. Yeah. Oh, I have been walking though. Oh, yes. Okay. Walking. So when I walk, and I haven't been walking in a while, I figured I started walking this week again, thinking that would break me out of whatever, brain fog I was in, or, help with me mentally. But I end up, usually my walk is I walk down to Dutch, I get a tea, and I walk back, and it's about 3 miles. The route that I take is roughly 3 miles. But the other day, and I've tried to reduce I'm not a coffee drinker, I am a tea drinker, but and by the way, my tea is empty. But what was I going to say? But I like Dutch tea, so I go down there, get my tea, and I spend too much money at Dutch, so so I've tried to, like, there's been days where I haven't had any Dutch. I just make my own tea, or I drink a lot of water. But I realized, and this is because some of my favorite people at the stand are no longer there. They've either quit, or they've moved, they actually move stores, whatever. So my local one, it's like, okay, well, it's making it easier not to go there, because the only really reason I go there is for the relationships that I've built with the people that work there. Because at the store, like, these guys are sci-fi fans. They like Star Trek and Star Wars, and they're geeks like me. So I go down there and I buy a tea and I converse with them. But they have all these new people there, and I just don't like the vibe anymore. So I'm like, okay, well, so it's making it a little bit easier for me to do this. And then but really what made it really, really easy is, as the managers kind of moved around, they have a new, I think it's not a district manager, regional manager. It's called a regional manager. And I figured he was the regional manager because, I've seen him there more in a professional manner, like in the background, not barking orders. That's the wrong way to express that, but basically, like, you could tell that he was visiting but in charge. And I've met the owner of the franchise, and not her. So but he's when I go through and he's actually actively working, he's like, do you want a receipt with that? Now, they are supposed to ask you for a receipt, but nobody ever does. So I'm like, he's got to be a regional manager, because he's asking, or he's just really, really new and he just wants to do everything correct. So I go through, and one of the things that Dutch does is they give dog treats, like they dog treat or whatever. And so I'm standing there at the walk up, and this person walks up, and this regional manager. Now, it was confirmed after the fact, but this is kind of, I describe him as this douchey white guy with brown hair, a mustache, and tats, and arm tattoos. The only problem that I have with any of that description is the guy's a douche. He is, when you, like, for me, when I visualize a douchey guy, this is him. Okay. So he feeds the dog a treat. Like, he has a dog treat and he feeds the dog. He gives it to the dog, not give it to the owner to give it to the dog. He gives it to the dog. The dog takes it out of his hand. Now, I don't know if the dog has licked his hand. I don't know anything like that. But then the guy decides to then prepare my drinks. Now, I'm not on a walk. I'm picking up lunch for my wife. There's a taco truck there that has amazing tacos, and Dutch is right there. So I get Dutch. So this is happening while my food's being made. And he sees, and I've already had an issue with an employee, like, totally, like, rubbing their hands all over a dog and just like, oh, what a good dog, and then making my drinks and literally like not being gentle with the lid, but like pushing the lid flat down, like all this dog shit's getting all over my cup. And I'm usually a pretty calm guy, but I totally lost my shit on this girl and let her have it. So now the old manager knew about this, and the current manager, who was the assistant manager, she knew about it. So she kind of, she was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe that happened. This is months and months ago. So at this thing, I'm watching this guy. Now, he didn't go all rubbing on the dog, but he fed him a dog treat. Now, I don't know if the dog licked his hand or what, I don't know, but he made my drinks and then put my drinks out. And I'm like, that's really nice that you didn't sanitize your hands between feeding the dog and making my drinks. And he just kind of looks at me, but he wasn't all like handsy, anyway, I felt it was safe enough just to take my drinks, because I just didn't have time. But I took my drinks, put them in the truck, and then I started thinking, and I started getting really mad. And I came back, and he looks at me, and he's like, do you want new ones? I'm like, no, I want to talk to the manager. I didn't say manager. I said the person's name. And he's like, oh, okay. So he gets the manager, and I'm like, I pointed at this guy. I was like, I'm telling the manager, I'm not going to say her name, but I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he just fed a dog a treat. And he says, yeah, I did. I fed a dog a treat, and then I made his drinks. And I was like, and I said, you know how I feel about this. I was so angry. I was like, that's completely unacceptable. It's a health hazard. Like did not sanitize. And I was so mad. And then I didn't even get, and she's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I just walked away. I didn't give her time. And so I'll probably stop in and talk to her without him there. But I did check in with somebody else that works in the franchise and confirm that he is the regional manager. Now, my problem with that entire situation is he is the regional manager. He should have known better. Like he asked for a receipt every time you order. So like he should know to sanitize his hands between feeding a dog and making my drink. And then second, he should have been the one to have taken my wrath, not the manager. He should have actually been like, sir, I'm actually the regional manager and it was my fault. It's not her fault. I will, I like he did not stop me. He just stood there like he was a little peon, like he was just a new person not knowing what to do. I hate managers like that. Oh my God, I just cannot stand people like that. Now, should I have gone off on her like that? Probably not. But yeah, I don't know. So basically, in short, I'm kind of done with that stand. The only stand that has the people that I like, that are fans, is way out of my way. So I think I'll be saving money on my teas. So I'm saving money and I'll probably go once in a while. I'll make it a treat because it is going out of my way. But anyway, so that happened to me the other day. I am probably not going back. The other thing, check this out. This is funny. I think I had mentioned a story last week about me going to Toyota and having I think I did. I went to Toyota and, had some basic service done, and they pretty much just forgot to tell me my truck was finished. So I was there for, oil change and tire rotation, and 2.5 hours later, I'm getting my car. So I ended up talking to the manager. I think I may have mentioned this, or the customer service person. So she just said, gift certificate, and made a reference to, and I had made him, and I wasn't expecting her to, I just said, oh yeah, because we had first talked about windshield wipers. And I was like, sure, I'll do the windshield wipers and I'll just have you guys do that when I bring it in for a realignment. And she's like, oh, you want the realignment? So I got my gift certificate. I got it in the mail. It's for the full alignment. It's not just a little bit. It's not like $50 off. It's for the full thing. Like, it's nuts. So yeah. So I think that was pretty cool. What?
I'm leaving and I turned the air on.
Oh, okay. Hey. Your glasses are ready. So if you wanted to, so just stop by and pick them up. Okay. That was the daughter. Okay. So as I've been ranting and telling stories. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. All right. So I saw Rob, The Thing is stupid and more geared towards the newer generation fans. Yes, they all have a thing, but do we need to call it out? Also, wouldn't Spock have been more logical, less wordy, warp, or execute? Yes. I agree. I agree. So, yeah. So, holy cow, it is 11:45. I started late and I'm looking at the time. It's like, oh, I've been talking for an hour and a half. So, okay. I must go do things today and be productive. So thank you thank you all for tuning in. And we will, sorry, I've just, oh, something was delivered. All right. Anyway. Oh, wait a minute. Does your daughter have your great talent? She actually picks up stuff pretty well. She picks up stuff pretty quick. But she does have to practice a little bit, but she does, like, you can show her, like, we were working on double Sinawali, and she picked it up like that. Redonda, she picked it up like that. Teacher Akata picks it up like that. She learns really fast, but refining it still takes time. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, I think we're done for the day. So thank you for tuning in. Again, love to you all. Live long and prosper. If you have not seen episode 1 of season 2 for Strange New Worlds, watch it. If you haven't seen Strange New Worlds at all, where have you been? Probably without a Paramount Plus whatchamacallit. But I think the first season is all available on what do you call it? I think it's all on YouTube. I think you can watch it for free. But even that, you just get the thing for whatever. So you just get a free week and then watch the whole season, or wait 10 weeks, and then you watch both seasons together. So you don't have to watch it all at once. Oh yeah, and I made this correlation that with the 10 episodes of Strange New Worlds feeds right into Ahsoka. So we're going to have Star Trek right into Star Wars without pause. It's going to be amazing. All right. Oh, one last thing. Such great defense for weaker sex. Right on. Okay. I'll see y'all later. I'm going to end before I continue to